you to tune into my show, Seattle Here and Now, on Rainier Avenue Radio App. Why? I will be covering a wide range of topics important to you and impacting the community. Each show will have a special guest or guests to share with you information on a variety of subjects that are happening here and now in Seattle. I promise I will work hard to make my show informative, interesting, and entertaining. Be sure to listen to Seattle Here and Now on Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Atlantic Street Center has been serving the children, youth, and families of the Seattle-King County area since 1910. We partner with families and communities to raise healthy, successful children and youth through services including counseling, early learning, youth development, domestic violence, and education support for school-aged children. Committed to serving the African-American community, Atlantic Street Center provides services and support for all marginalized people. Learn more at AtlanticStreetCenter.org.
You know you can't get enough of Rainier Avenue Radio .org.
Hey, y'all. This is Dr. Traci Harrell, and you're watching Better Together and Living Powerfully. It's 2025. It's the first Monday in February, so the first Monday in Black History Month. So I am thrilled and excited to bring you some clips directly from Africa. So when you talk about Black history, lordy, did we live Black history during this trip. It was incredible. We I'd have to say we experienced almost to an extent that I was shocked. The real, like, this is where your ancestors walked. This was the experience that your ancestors had. So it was moving. It was enlightening. It was terrifying. It was all the things, right? It was a blessing. You know, it was all the things. It was such a moving experience. So I do have a couple of videos. Actually, I have about 6 or 7, 8 different video files. I had the pleasure of not only having, it was like the best of times and the worst of times, right? We did the Door of No Return, which was, you know, probably one of the things I could share first. I don't know how that video is, but we'll see. Yeah, we had some technology challenges, but what I'm excited to do is to say that, you know what?
We're Osupaso, and this is the pathway to the Door of No Return. It's like a stairway. It's a winding stairway. That's our security guy. That's the castle. Look over here. This is that water view I was showing you. So I guess I was saying how beautiful it is. I guess it ain't so beautiful when you're the trade, the product being traded. But let me walk down here. This is another tour happening. This is the Door of No Return. Steps down. One person can go down, one can go up. Can you make it to the beach down there? Yeah. Wow. So you're from Atlanta. Tell us about your Georgia. How did you get to Ghana? Why did you choose Ghana?
My husband right there.
Okay, we can stop this video. Okay, guys, so that's not the Door of No Return video that I wanted to share with you. But what you got to see there, because we actually did a tour. This was me. I got to the beach area. There's a beautiful beach before you get to the Door of No Return. So we actually had a tour guide who walked us down that path. But what you saw how narrow it is. It was literally designed so that you had to control these people. And so one way to control them was to make it so narrow that you were walking down this path. Imagine you chained to other people, but you're also just physically unable to do anything but just walk this path. So the Door of No Return was you leaving your homeland, and the next place that you went after you went down this spiral staircase, very, very tight to control the people, was to a beach, and that beach was taking you to smaller boats, and the smaller boats were taking you to the larger boats, which were getting you from Africa to these other countries. So it was brutal in that sense, but it was also, like I said, just a blessing to be there, to just walk in the path of our ancestors in that kind of way. It was extraordinary. Again, I would like to say it was the trip of a lifetime for me. I got to add some luxurious elements toward the end. We started out just really being close to culture. Afua, Kuyate had this very detailed, very organized cultural exploration laid out for us. I have lots of videos in different places, some on Google Drives, et cetera, et cetera. But when I used this, again, technology was an issue. So this is the videos that I was able to capture using StreamYard, because I knew that we'd be here talking to you. So again, sometimes you think of Africa as this underdeveloped place, and there were some very underdeveloped spaces. Some of the roads were horribly undeveloped, but there were also these beautiful, luxurious beaches. And so I'm going to share one of those videos. I think this is it. Can you bring that one on? Yeah, let's see.
Hey y'all, this is Dr. Traci Harrell. I am live from the Cape Coast Beach in Ghana. It is gorgeous. It's 2:37 in the afternoon. I know no one is awake in Seattle, but I wanted to go live just to clarify I am alive. I've had horrible reception. I've been like for weeks, what happened? I'm on semi-vacation. No, I really am. In a life-changing experience. It's been amazing. Thanks to Afua and Adafua. They've cultivated this 30-day experience, and it's been amazing. We've seen pristine beaches like the one I'm right now, beaches that were less than pristine, which is I think where I recorded live from the last time on New Year's Eve. But wherever you are, that's kind of my point of going live today. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you still get to choose joy, right? We get to decide. We get to decide what success looks like. And for me, today, success is like take care of yourself. So my people are up there getting food, and I just had to put my feet in the water. I could not be at a beach. I'm a Florida girl. Could not be at a beach this gorgeous. People horseback riding down there. Could not be here and not be, enjoying the water. So that's what I'm doing. And to clarify, the lesson learned for today, you get to not only decide what joy looks like, no matter what's happening. Other people, circumstances you may have planned, air quotes, differently, you still get to decide that this too will work out for your good, right? We talk about the sage perspective a lot, that every situation can be turned into a gift and an opportunity. And honestly, it's about how you show up in those moments where things don't work out the way you hope, right? The way you plan, when someone doesn't say what you hope they're going to say or do what you hope they're going to do. Just decide in 2025, I'm going to be happy anyway. Say it like that with a little attitude, with a little country girl attitude. I'm going to be happy anyway. No matter what, no matter how, I'm going to choose joy. So I have a lot of great things coming up for you guys in 2025, but really, it's about me pointing to me, having my best experience so that we can come back fully. And I'm exhausted every night, like bone tired, exhausted, devices dead, fully exhausted. And then God just gives me just enough rest to wake up the next day ready for a new day. I mean, what more can you hope for? So, more to come. Just want you to enjoy the beach. I'll be silent and you can just enjoy the waves. There's a little music in the background, but just enjoy the sound of the ocean. Oh.
I think that's close to being it. This is just me really, really enjoying Africa. That was Cape Coast. And what you'll see is, I had on this white dress. And I don't know if you saw those yellow beads that I had on. We had just gone to, I guess there was these various ceremonies that we went to. We got those golden beads. Each person got a different set of beads. At the Ga Palace, and you'll see I have an interview with the chief priest from the Ga Palace. He actually came and visited us later. We really couldn't record. There were certain places where they literally said, this, have your experience, right? Like when we were at the Ga Palace and they were going through these ceremonies, and it was like, some people were videotaping, but they were like, you have an experience, like just be in the moment. And I'm really glad they did that. They lovingly asked us to be in the moment, right? Because, Americans were just videotaping stuff. So it was more about like have the experience and you can share. That's kind of the storytelling of it all. But they wanted us to have an experience. And so they gave us these elements, like those yellow beads. I brought back these beautiful, these are like Adinkra symbols. This one is for abundance. The one at the bottom, the larger one, is abundance. The one at the very top, it's which is also my necklace here in the middle. It's God. It was about, God is strength. God is the center of our universe. Like God is everything. And so that was for me just so beautiful for me to be able to bring these symbols back and to wear them. When people see me, hopefully it is, if somebody has a little inkling of the truth, this earring is actually a combination of that God is, they call it, you see that in the center, and it's also the Sankofa bird. That was a custom built piece from one of the artisans that I met. So Africa was really about having an experience. Again, I throw in the beach, but there were also these other experiences. Ghana was the first country, I believe it was the first country in Africa that earned their independence. So one of the touristy places that we went to early in the process, I'll share that video real quick. They call it the Independence Hall. So let me share that video.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Y'all, we are live right here in Ghana. What you see in the background is called Independence Hall. It's a monument identifying the independence of Ghana. And this is one of the salesmen that is here to... instrument, Africa instrument, you see? He's jamming it out. Welcome to Ghana. Welcome to Ghana. Welcome to Africa. Welcome to Ghana, baby. I love it. Show your artwork. This is greetings from Ghana. Greetings from Ghana. Yeah. This is Mama Africa. Oh, I love that. Mama Africa. Mama Africa. Looks like my tour group is leaving now. I wanted you guys to see. It's beautiful. Oh, and if I can flip this around. Thank you so much. This is where Afrochella is going to be. So it's like a big old huge space with the stadium. If you can see it this way. It's just a huge space with stadiums in the background. And then people selling stuff. Pretty interesting. Let me see if I can find the light again. There is the light. I'm good. Thank you so much. So we're in Africa, baby. We're walking over here for something. And I'm following the group. That's the rules. Stick with the group. I'm good. Bye.
Stick with the group, baby. That was important. So again, the story that we heard, again, we had a whole tour and they, talked about Independence Hall, but some of the story that we heard about Ghana's independence is how impactful leaders from the U.S. were in kind of the whole experience, right? They have W.E.B. Du Bois. We actually saw a whole museum of him and his impact and his words and his, how he impacted the world. But they talked about MLK and Malcolm X. And, so when you go to, I think it was New Year's Eve where we had a beautiful experience. I think it's called the Ancestral Wall, where they have all these international leaders. And of course, our U.S. leaders are a part of that. But when you talk to people about Ghana and Ghana's independence, and you talk about just the cultural experience, it's not the same because everybody's, I guess there's a respect. There's a deep respect for their history, but there's also a respect for the American culture as well as some of our heroes as well. So that was a very interesting. Bob Marley, for example, and his wife as well are very highly esteemed. There was a property that we saw there as well. So I just kind of wanted to share. You think about Black history, we are Black history every day. Like we are living. I think how we show up, if we could just, we talked previously about Dr. Carter passing away last year, and I'm still not over it, to be perfectly honest. I'm still just remembering. When I say over it, I mean, it's just like such a reminder. We have to live, each day to the fullest, knowing that it could be our last. So whose life are you impacting? What legacy are you leaving, right? That has to be an important part of the conversations that we have. So I'm blessed to have had this experience. I think this was a different beach. I think I'm going to show a quick little interview since this is Black History Month. I'll show a very brief. It's not that brief, but I'll stay on a little bit because it's kind of hard to hear some of the words that are being said. So I'm gonna see if I can play this video and stay in it. Well,
for some reason, the Portuguese also decided to leave this colony. So they were selling it for you. And the Danish people got a position, quickly came back, renegotiated with the Portuguese, then bought it back again from them. But then they discovered some colonies around the Caribbean.
So let me just clarify. I'm gonna add this back. I'm gonna add this video back in again. Maybe my producer can help me have myself and the video in. Maybe I'll help to add some commentary as need be.
Use them. If they are coming back again on the slavery business. After they came
He's
back,
talking about the slavery business.
Establish the slavery business. So this is where the Danish transported millions of ancestors and parts of the Caribbean that we call the Danish West Indies until they abolished slavery around 1807. They were the first among the European countries to abolish slavery.
If I can pause. I'm going to pause as we go. So basically, as I translate, because I know it's hard to hear, plus he has an accent, but he's talking about back in 1807, like basically the slavery business was active. And then he talks about this fort that we're in, this space had multiple colonizers from I think it was the Danish, the French, right? I mean, there was just all kind of layers of that experience that he's talking about, but he's like millions, they don't, the counts aren't accurate. When you think about millions of Africans that were the business of slavery was happening right there. And so it's heartbreaking, of course. But I'll pause as I need to, but just kind of check it out.
But the people said this colony until 1850. They sold it to the British when they were living. The British paid an amount of $8,000.
So he's also talking about the British, right? So if you look around these spaces, each time a different colonizer, these forts kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So let me see what time it is. Okay, I got a little bit of time.
Acquired this castle from the Danes. We were initially using the Cape Coast Castle at the central region. But acquiring this castle from the Danes, we then relocated from the Cape Coast Castle.
So he's referencing the Cape Coast Castle, which is another castle that we went to. I have to be honest to you, by the third or fourth time I was hearing about the abuses of our people, I was kind of like, I'm good. I think we went to a whole nother country. We went from Ghana to Togo. And I was kind of like, guys, like, you know, it's great to walk in the actual like Black history, to live your history. It was a great experience. And we did it in, I think she said there was like 8 or to 11 actual main ports where it was happening. So it's not like one door of no return, even though I showed you guys one of them. There are multiple doors of no return because there were multiple forts like this one, right? This was one of the doors of no return, but there were multiple doors of no return because there were multiple forts. There were multiple. It was a business. Slavery was a business, a huge industry, right? And so sad as our colonizers and those colonized kind of continued to feed into that process. So let me just hear a little bit more of what he's saying. He just reminded me, and I'll kind of help commentate a little bit.
Discussing. And because the Danes avoided abolished slavery in this part of the colony before telling the British, and the British also took the decision not to partake in slavery, but rather only did governance and administration in this country until the grant us our independence on 6th of March 1957, which we fight for it, led by our first leader, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. As soon as we gained independence from the British, our first leader, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, made a decision to leave this working office, telling them that after all, a Black man was also capable of running his own affairs in his country. Because this is where the British government is running from until they give us our independence. So Kwame Nkrumah went from here from 1957 until 1960.
So I'm going to pause because I'm having difficulty. I know you guys are probably not understanding what he's saying very well, but he's just giving us the history of, you know, from now he's talking about British rule and kind of the experiences. And like I said, it was intense in a number of different ways when they show you kind of the process. They show you the business of slavery, kind of how it was happening. That's what a lot of this was. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit and see what he's saying here.
Also abstract intent, the king was next to the king of 26. So there was the resident of the governor and his family, the British government and their family. They stayed over there, and on top of it was an extension put down by the British, a residential apartment that they used to hold PCA. That's where the late Elizabeth affected of system that guest.
So again, he's talking not just about the business of slavery, but like, you know, where people were. He said that was the residence of the governor, the British governor, and when they came to the space. And so, yeah, I'll keep moving. So again, this was a little bit more about the business of, I think that's where some of the
Center Maritime Multinational Declaration.
And again, there were some stairs. I don't know if you can see the stairs, but I chose not to climb up the stairs. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this video as well. We can go ahead and remove this video. Thank you so much. So it was a lot. It was a lot. I can't even remember the name of that particular. I'm sure the video probably has the name and the date, but we saw a number of these spaces, and it was to live Black history, to actually walk in those spaces. It was a lot. It was exhilarating in the sense of, God, I can't believe I'm actually here. Like, I've always wanted to have this African experience. And so every time I had an experience, I was grateful. There was a lot of gratitude, but I was also feeling like, wow, like we are the descendants of some real survivors, y'all. Because I mean, what they went through, from just we are the descendants of major survivors. So all I can say, I'm wearing my silver. You can see I'm wearing my little bling bling from my trip. And again, these are Dinka symbols. I put them on. I take them off and put them on every day as my own personal reminders. I don't take these off at all. I don't really take my earrings off. I sleep in them. I probably should. But I get to see these symbols, and it just reminds me of the strength of our people. So the Adinkra symbols, I have a whole show about the Adinkra symbols, but just to remember, like, some of them are symbols of bravery, symbols of, like I said, peace, God, abundance, connectivity. Like, there's just it's so beautiful and so beauty. And the kind of the concept of it's like I said, kind of like the verbal traditions, like storytelling that happens inside of these symbols as a representation of the symbols. Like we told stories through these symbols, so then you get to kind of be a part of it. So I feel like I'm wearing Black history on my neck. Like these Adinkra symbols date back to I think Adinkra, when I think about the stuff I read about this, it's like they were the first ones to print symbols on fabric, right? So it's like there's all kind of like cool history. All kind of cool history. So we got 3 minutes before our next break, and then I'm going to show you when we come back from the break. I'm going to show you. I think I have a really short video. Did I show Prom Prom Beach? Is this the one let me see. Let me share this real quick. I think this is
Hello. This is Dr. Traci Harrell, and I could not be more excited than to be sitting here sharing a beautiful, beautiful beach. This is called Prom Prom Beach in Ghana. It's so beautiful here. I'm going to zoom in with another shot. This is a recording on StreamYard, but I'm going to zoom in. This is a beautiful couple recording themselves. And if you go all the way down, that's the people that I'm traveling with. Down by the volleyball court is Ottawa and her fiance Simon. So we are sitting here again, Prom Prom Beach. So beautiful. Going over here, you can see the sun is about to set. It's just gorgeous. Someone made a point and said something about the trash that's on the beach. I think Ghana has a plastic epidemic. If I did like this, you'd see things. But I choose to see that. I choose to see this absolutely amazing beach. And the reason that's our driver, by the way, Sammy, the guy in the white shirt. And what I love about this, most of the people are kind of back there. But what I love about this is that this is a bit of a metaphor for life, right? You choose to see what you want to see. You have the experience that you want to have. And I choose to overlook the trash, the plastics, the things in the sand. And it's a lot. It's a lot. But I choose to literally overlook it. I choose to look past it. I choose to look at this beautiful view and this beautiful sunset. The sun has dropped already below the horizon. It's just a beautiful thing. But these are choices that we get to make. So I hope you enjoy Prom Prom Beach. This is an area where a lot of individuals from the U.S. tend to move to. As we were driving in, we saw these beautiful homes. It's so gorgeous. So I'll do a little bit more of that videotaping as well, hopefully. But tonight we're going to be celebrating in this beautiful Airbnb, also owned by someone who's from the U.S. So we just had lunch from this chef, not a cook, but a chef, and it was absolutely amazing. They asked me to pay close attention to the riptide. I was going to go out into the water, and they were like, I don't think I would do that if I were you. Apparently there's a strong drop-off somewhere. I choose not to figure that out. I'm doing this from the dry land, as you can see. So enjoy Prom Prom Beach. I'll just be silent and let the waves take us home.
Okay. Okay, y'all. I didn't know why I wanted to share that one as well. Two reasons. I every time I had the opportunity to go to a beach, I did. This was one of the first ones we went to, and it wasn't planned per se. We made this stop. It was like this public space, and I have to be honest, there was more crap, like plastic stuff, like on the beach. You couldn't really see it unless you looked, because when I first was there, I didn't see it. And one of the people I was traveling with, they said something, and then I could see it. But then I chose to like unsee it, because all the other beaches we went to, there was nothing on the beach at all, right? So it was like, could I have allowed that to ruin the experience? Absolutely, I could have, but I chose differently, right? And that's kind of a little metaphor for life, right? Like we we have options. Show up and let the shenanigans give you something to complain about, or let the shenanigans be something that you say, you know what, I get to overcome and keep it moving, right? Live your best life. So I know we're at time for break, so we're going to come back. I have this wonderful actual interview with the chief priest of the Ga state, the Ga palace. We met them. These are the ones that gave, the designation of queen, the ones that actually provide, a role in community. And so I told him that I'd be sharing this video during Black History Month, and he thought that was pretty cool. So he's going to be a part of work that we do throughout the year. My next visit, we're going to be going back and working with him and his team. But I think you'll like this video. And so stay with us. I'll be right back with more Ghana, the real Africa, y'all, right here. Stay with us.
I'm Paul Pearson, host of Star Time, and this is my real voice. Honest. You're hearing it on Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
Should have told her you were sorry.
We must all remain committed to slow the spread of coronavirus, taking care of ourselves and not putting others in harm's way, especially those already at high risk of getting seriously ill, including people over 65 or those with underlying medical conditions. If you must be out, avoid crowded areas, stay 6 feet or 2 arm lengths away from others, and wear a face covering. Wash hands frequently with soap and water for 20 seconds, especially after being in public spaces. Avoid touching your face, cough or sneeze in a tissue, then throw it away. Disinfect frequently touched objects. And if you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. Slowing coronavirus means taking care of ourselves while also protecting others. Even if you're not at high risk, these steps should be taken to help slow the spread of coronavirus. We are all in this together.
Hey, Seattle, tune in to Lidline Sports every Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
What up, yo? We are back. This is Pep, and the man that don't take no mess, Mr. O.P.I.S., Mr. Stevenson. What say you?
I hope you see the hat that I'm wearing right now. That's how mad I am.
I do. Man, you are angry.
I just want to make that be known.
Tune in to Lidline Sports every Monday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Lidline Sports.
Hey, y'all. It's Traffic Jam with Kareem.
Thursday at 4 p.m.
Hey, Traffic Jam. Rainier Avenue Radio. Download the app so you don't miss out what's popping, what's cracking, what's shining. It's your boy, Cream the Dream, on another beautiful week on here on Traffic Jam in Seattle. I hope you guys doing what you're supposed to do, being you're supposed to be. I got a good show for y'all. A lot to talk about. Kareem the Dream, keep up with everything.
Get your entertainment news with Kareem on the Traffic Jam, Thursday at 4 p.m.
Hey, Seattle. Here are some storage tips to love food, stop waste. Onions make potatoes sprout faster. Keep onions away from potatoes. Ripe bananas give off a gas that makes the fruit around them ripen faster. Store bananas away from other fruits. 40% of food in the U.S. goes uneaten. Save money. Save food. Save the planet. Visit Seattle Public Utilities for more tips.
Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hey, y'all. This is Dr. Traci Harrell. And yes, I am so excited to be celebrating Black History Month with you as we talk about truly me living Black history. I was like in Africa. We had it again. I was there on a tour with Adefua, Adefua, Afua Kuyate. She creates these very cultural experiences that are like, honestly, not for the faint at heart. So like from early morning to night, you're running. She has museums and wonderful experiences. We had like, of course, shopping experiences as well, but it wasn't about that. It was really about connecting with real people. There was chefs that were real people. So we had real food. We also did great restaurants as well. So it was a wonderful experience. I also kind of added some of my own little stuff toward the end. We had some work that needed to be done, and I was able to do a few layers of the experience. But one of the places that we visited. So before I show the video with it's the longest video, so I'm going to show that last. But I have a really quick clip of a river experience that we had, which was people actually live on the rivers. You'll see some beautiful homes. I thought it was like a perfect visual of like what Africa was like. Like you'll see villages and people like living in small huts, and then you'll see these beautiful mansions. So let's
we're live from Africa. Volta River. Listen to this song. Gotta live my life today. This is my definition. We went under this beautiful bridge. Gonna live my life today. We can all live powerfully. Listen to this song. I love it. Check out the river. Hopefully you saw something good. Listen to the song. Enjoying the life I love. Wow. Not about me. Check out the river.
So the song was actually talking about I'm gonna live my life today. It was so beautiful. So I'm gonna keep playing the video, but I just wanted to clarify. You'll see some beautiful homes, and then you'll see some literally kids playing in the river. Like this is just their neighborhood river. I think this is the one where I captured that. I'm gonna move forward real quick. You see these homes? Beautiful homes right on the river.
I love it. My new theme song. She said, we don't know what you are, baby. I love it. My new theme song.
Look at that beautiful mansion behind us. So can I move to Africa? Yes, I can, and I probably will. Okay, coming to the end. What? Thank you for hiding that video. So that was actually the Volta River. There are people who actually live in the Volta region. Volta is what I'm saying. Volta. And again, when you're streaming, when you're using StreamYard, you can't really zoom in and zoom out. So as the boat got closer to the shore, you could see it close up on some of those beautiful homes. But again, we also saw shacks on the side of the river with kids going to get water from the river, like in their little things and walking with the things on their head. It's like that really does happen. Like the image of people walking with stuff on their heads. Literally, we saw that on a regular basis in the streets. Like as you're driving, you know how sometimes you'll have people I guess it's not quite the same here because it might be illegal for people to be selling stuff on the side of the road as you're driving by, but that is like the thing, right? Like there are certain places where it was like very, very popular, and they would have stuff balanced on their heads. Like everybody's an entrepreneur basically, right? Literally from, you know, items to drink and technology cables for your phone, and not for tourists. Like that's kind of the thing, like how they live. I mean, at some point there were markets, like I said, on the side of the road with just it was an amazing experience. That's all I'll say. Okay, so I got a video that I want to share. It really was an amazing experience. I have other videos to share. I'm going to play this video, and I'll probably stop it a little bit as well. Let's see how good the sound is, and see if you can turn the sound up a little bit. To my producer, I'm going to add this video in.
All right, y'all, we are live, and I am still in Ghana. And I have been here for 30 days. So we can first of all thank Miss Afua Kuyate, who is now Queen Afua. Do you remember what her name is?
No.
What's her full name?
Nayali Ashabu.
The first. Can you say it again?
Nayali Ashabu.
Love it. Queen Afua has now been fully named the queen as a part of the God state. This is the chief priest for the God state. Can you tell us your name real quick and tell us what you do in community?
Oh, my name is Luma Kwamis and the third 9 IC priest of the God state. My role is to see to the proper application of the Ghana traditional customs and culture, and also see to the spiritual affairs of the community. It is our responsibility to make sure that the community is full of everything that will develop humanity, that is going to bring change, that is going to sustain and maintain our history, our culture, that is going to bring in happiness to the children, to everybody. Because in Accra, in Africa, there is a higher level of possibility. Because with everything, so long as there is life, there's possibility. If you have the feelings, you have the minds, this is what we're going to do. Everything is possible. It's a smile to see to the festival arrangement, the instruments, all the traditional teas and cream mothers, and all other things that will make us, that's going to identify us. And to climate it all, we have to be more spiritual. So I see to the spirituality aspect of the gospel.
All of that. I love it. I could not be more proud to be associated with you, to be in a position where we can truly bring information, cultural information to community. I'm going to also introduce my new father. He's Kudus Siga has shown up for us in such a loving way. I could not be more proud and grateful to be a part of your new family as well. He adopted us into the God state, and he adopted us into his estate and his family. So tell us a little about who you are. We're going to talk about 3 words today. The first word we're going to talk about is community. The second word we're going to talk about after communities, we're going to just reconnect on this idea of legacy. And then the third word we're going to talk about really briefly is just possibility. And then that's the whole series that we're going to be focused on throughout the rest of January, going into February. Again, Black history is now. So we're going to talk about community real quick. So introduce yourself and tell us why is community so important, and why it's so important that people actually come and actually get to have a physical experience on the continent.
Right. Hello, everybody. My name is Kudus Razak Idrisu Sika. And in short, I make my name Kudus Sika. I'm African, like you know. My color, my everything, my DNA, everything tells you we are Africans. And actually, my role in all this, what I've been doing for all these years is trying to make sure how I connect the brothers and sisters in diaspora with people back home here in Africa. The belief, or what I believe in, or the way I view was African Americans or Africans in diaspora, be it American, Caribbean, whenever you find an African, whenever you find a black person is an African.
Right.
Therefore, due to certain circumstances, they happen to get themselves across the ocean. Ours is that if we really believe that we are one people, one family, therefore you need to create a bridge that really goes back home to be connected with us. That is the reason why today we are here with the chief priest of the Ghana state and make sure that when African Americans come down, they need to link back with the tradition. Because those who were taken away from here were traditionalists. They were people of Africa. This is who they are. That's their DNA. So the most important, not to just come for visit and go back, they come and be connected to your people. So actually, that's my work for today. Thank you so much.
Connecting people. I love it. There's so many things that you and I discovered we have in common. You talked about actually you want people to be happy. I think people overlook the importance of joy, choosing joy. So you part of your work with the NAM Foundation, which is really his initial NAM, the third NAM3 Foundation. Part of that work is helping people to be happy. You want to help sustain people. We talked about community. We also talked about legacy. You want to leave a legacy. Why is it so important that you leave a legacy and that we all are part of leaving a legacy for the next generation?
All right, leaving a legacy is one of the most strong mechanisms for sustaining a particular community. A community without legacy, if it comes to history, if it comes to belief, if it comes to faith and that, and then there's no legacy for that, then the situation is going to lose. So it is my responsibility and what I've seen that I need to leave behind the tradition of water, a hard copy of it. My day-to-day activities, what happens in the Ghana state, how does the festivals, and its relevant events, what are they meant for? What are the purpose of doing that? So these things are to be documented so that at the end of the day, anybody who picks a book would know the group called the Ghana people without even seeing them. And that's also the either people from the diaspora to come home and attest to what is being written in the books and being broadcast in social media. I believe these things are all put together. The next generation would have hope. Without this, there's no hope for it.
Such an inspiration. But it's late here, so we're going to talk about one word briefly. I'm going to have you first talk about the word possibility, then I'm going to have you talk about possibility. Most of you guys know I contributed to a book that became an international bestseller, and the title was Ignite Possibilities. But guess what these guys are doing? That's what they're doing. They're igniting the possibility that anything is possible. I say anything is possible. When I say that, what do you say? Not anything, but what?
Everything.
Everything. Not anything, but what?
Everything.
Everything is possible. Come on now. That is so good. That is so good. Talk about possibilities. Why is it so important that people understand that everything is possible?
Everything.
Not anything, but everything is possible.
Right. Actually, I really become very inspired and very connected with what our chief has it as an inspirational word, saying everything is possible. Yes, everything is possible. Everything is possible simply because if the white man sat down and think the guy will go to the moon, and they are to the moon, therefore it's not possible. What you and I can just create within the society, make sure that we bring things and things together to make something possible. We should. If I can wake this morning and tell myself, I need to go down there, eat my tea, have my car, fix my tea, and drink and go, that shouldn't just be the limitation of possibility. To be able to go beyond that. So, unlike the concept of chi, which I know is going to elaborate on that one so much that I just like inspiration. Everything is possible, and therefore the coming generation, the youth, like you said, we need to leave a legacy behind for them to follow. And if we leave a legacy of impossibility, they will not have no society.
Yes.
But when we give that word, I always believe in something. I said, if you train somebody to play ball, at the end of the day, plays more than you do. The next person can be more than he does. Another person, but who somebody make it possible in the beginning. So it's a word to a wise now. Everybody should just believe. That's why I Kelly saying that. I Kelly said, he said, I believe I can fly. And this song I used to teach my little kids when they were saying, I know I can. If I work hard at it, you know, if I work hard at whatever I want it to be possible, definitely it's going to be possible. What is possibility? You go into the boxing ring, you fight something today. My cousin beat you today. He said, no, I'm going to come back. Make sure that I'm going to beat him. Somebody who beat you, they should be beating you all the time. But when you work hard at it and you come back, one day you'll not get a thing down. So that's my belief. Everything is possible.
Everything is possible. Everything. You say it with such confidence.
Absolutely. I like it.
Yeah.
An inspiration.
It's such an inspiration. So it's just a last statement. I'm gonna let you close out the video here with just your thoughts around for people who the new year, beginning of the year or January, people are thinking about what they're gonna do throughout 2025. If you had to give someone who maybe has lost hope, just a reminder that everything is possible, what would you say to that person who's lost hope, who's tried to do a thing and hasn't been successful at it? What would you say to them about believing that everything is possible?
All right. When someone is not lost hope, there's difference between and then life. Because the person is having life, the person would have hope again. So if there is no life, no hope. And then looking at the possibility, it's about feeling the ability to do it. When you have the feelings, everything is possible. Because nobody knows when and how we got to us, the current status in life. It happened within a twinkling of an eye. So the possibility of someone claiming or saying the person is not having that hope, then we have to make the person know that. So long as there is life, there is hope. So if there is hope, there is a possibility that everything would be possible. Every little thing is not possible. That thing is a material thing, but possibility is a universal. That whatever we want, and then we are able to do it to achieve it, there is a possibility that we'll be doing more and more. So life comes with possibility. Life comes with determination. Life comes with happiness, joy. When you do everything together, living here will be possible.
You think we had planned this somehow? We're so alike. I did a series called the Better Together Empowerment Series, and every time you say something, you're connecting to the words that was put into my heart. That we know scientifically it's proven when people do this type of work, it's better when they do it together. It's better when we do it in community. It's better when we are able to, like you said, everything is possible. We can prove that out because we do the work together. Y'all, this has been so good. There's so much more to come. We ask that you stay with us because everything is possible. Say it one time.
Everything is possible.
Thank you.
He said everything is possible, y'all. Don't you love that? I mean, for me, there was so much I could go back and just highlight, but that guy with the little thing on his head, by the way, very ceremonial. So he had this white thing covering his head, and wherever he goes, I asked about it, and he said, like, I guess as a part of the spirituality. First of all, he always wears white, which I knew, which is why I had a white. You guys know I don't wear white a lot. But he talked about how important his colors were. But the thing on his head Apparently, you're not supposed to show your hair either. Not we, but like he, because of his role in community. There's something about, covering his hair. So his hair is always covered, and he always wears white. Like everything he has is white. I think I saw him probably 4 times from Zoom calls and in person, and he wears white all the time. And I asked him the question about white, and he said there's a purity in white. There's a there's some dignity that comes with white. You walk differently. He said you slow down. I was like, that's so true. He's like, you slow down, right? You're much more intentional. And that's everything is true, right? So I was like, you know what? And again, I bought that outfit. It was one of these shirts, kind of very much like this loosey-goosey stuff that I love. But I bought that particular one with white giraffes, had this kind of African print on it, but it was white because I knew I was going to be in his presence, and I wanted to be. And we had a buffet, Lord. I invited him to the place that I was staying. We were at the Labadee Beach Hotel. I got a suite, and they upgraded us to the presidential suite. So we had this conference room. That's where we were just then. We were at this conference room table right there, and we were able to really build. So we had a buffet dinner in white. Slow. So gourmet meal at Labadee Beach Resort, which is incredible. And then we went to this. He obviously does not travel alone, so he has at least two people in his entourage. When we saw him, it was a whole, community. But when he travels, he has at least 2 people with him. And then of course I had Kudus, and his son Razak was with us as well. So we had this. And the president of Adafua's board was with us as well. So it was a really beautiful. It was a beautiful experience. I was really glad. I was so proud of Afua when she got her queen designation, and she had on white when they were. I wish, again, we couldn't do a whole lot of pictures, but somebody took some pictures. I know, like there were people who took pictures, there were people who were taking videos, but like when she walked out with this all white on, just like he had on this all white, there's just a regalness and elegance. So you might see me in more white. You might see me in more white in 2025, right? Just to slow me down, to help me be more intentional, all of that. Okay, 6:56. I think he's telling me we gotta go. I think. So what a great experience. What a great way to kick off 2025, Black History Month. So I will continue to bring not only people from Africa here to my shows. We're going to continue the videos. We're going to continue actually live interviews. I met so many amazing people who were very much ready to bond with us. From doctors, the healers are going to join us. Lidline Sports is next. He's giving me my cues. Lidline Sports is next. And one announcement. This is Black History Month. And so the Call to Conscience Museum, Black History Month Museum, is open live. It is Tuesday through Sunday this month, with tours every hour between 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. from now through the 28th of February. So you can find out more about this year's exhibits and get your tickets now. All you have to do is go to calltoconscience.world, calltoconscience.world. And I put the link in the chat, in the comments for this broadcast. Please, please, please support this experience. It's such an amazing experience, and it really is something that we all need to be a part of. Call to Conscience, baby. Now is our time to both live a legacy, to be a part of community,